Welcome to our podcast where four passionate minds come to dive deep into diverse topics. Each of us brings a unique perspective and energy to the conversation, ensuring you always get a mix of lively debates and a whole lot of fun. Whether you are here for specific topics, we've got something for everyone. Let's get started. Hey guys, welcome to the Chat Podcast. And today we have a crucial topic measured with the youth, that is youth activism and social justice movement.
So recently we've seen the youth trying to act on their own, like tumeona mayouth wamejaribu ku-uplift gauges zao from where we were to where we are. So science investigation has it that the youth for the past 10 years have involved themselves in politics and they have brought some changes. But recently we have one movement, so-called Gen Zs, wenye wamejaribu one of the best. Actually, they've done one of the best movements that have ever been seen in Kenya since we gained independence. So they've tried to fight for their rights, and we are today talking about how they've tried to manage to strive through every difficulty they have been facing to date, to where they are right now. So I like the way people have tried to support them, actually, because they are trying to do something positive on what they are trying to talk about. Literally, they're all about talking about their rights, like on how could you defend, and we want to see how everything that is happening around Kenya is going to affect us as youths. Exactly.
So this is significant that the education that we have been going through, it's a positive effect on us because it has shown the positivity in such a way that we are able to stand for ourselves. Like we are able to, when you're told this statement, you need to know. You're not just being told about the budget is going to be read, but you need what is entailed in the budget reading or whatever.
Even the social entrepreneurship, whereby the youths, they have come with some projects like Somo project, which helps them to manage and even to create jobs where they generate the income.
And what makes it like more interesting is that in youth you find that there is no tribalism thing, that they're coming together without not knowing like she's from this tribe or whatever. Exactly. They have been able to put that behind.
Yes, like there's been unity, there's oneness. We are working as Kenyans, not as tribals.
Yeah.
And that is what is making this movement work easily. Actually, and talking about that one, we can talk about how social media is helping us as youth to maybe raise something for ourselves, talk for ourselves. We have our platforms like TikTok, platforms like YouTube, that people with special talents, youth with talents, can just try to show out, and through that they're going to earn something for a living maybe.
Okay, and this is actually very crucial because we have seen that social justice has actually impacted many youth, kwa sababu utapata a youth is in Nairobi and a youth is in maybe Kericho, those marginalized places. So utapata through this youth activism and social justice movement, a person in Kericho is able to get information about something happening in Nairobi, be able to understand his or her rights, be able to understand what the government is doing, be able to understand what he or she needs to do in order to fight for his or her personal interests or rights. Sindio?
Yeah.
Exactly. So trying to talk about ile kitu yenye na to push sisi kama mayouth kufanya vitu zingine we are doing recently. We may talk about what exactly is pushing us to do things. For instance, tumekuwa na hiyo movement agency and hizo maandamano stuff. Hatukusimama tu tukaamua kufanya maandamano. We were against the finance bill, of course. And this was going to affect us personally. Na I like the way we didn't just go out there na tukaanza kugugana for nothing. We had agendas as we were going out there. So napenda vile we joined hands as Gen Zs and we stopped that stuff. So trying to look into what we are going through now as youths. Tunaweza ongelelea zile implications zenye zimefanyika zinatu affect directly kama mayouth. 90% of the youth when wako in between 18 to 25 ni college students ama campus students.
Exactly.
Tunayoita comrades. So kuna zile challenges hizi kama comrades tuna face zenye zinatu push into some maybe reactions zenye tuna show afterwards. We may talk about the tax implications and the stuff. Tumeona recently tax imekuwa very high, so the standard of living inaendelea ikipanda. Most of us are maybe from humble backgrounds. Hatuwezi manage kusurvive vile tulikuwa tunasurvive before.
True.
Tunaweza angalia story na fees. kama mme notice a lot of schools, by the way, campus mingi zimekuwa ziki strike juu ya story na fees, and they've been crying out to the government at least fee ipungue. So sisi kama mayouth kuna vitu zinatu affect kama fees and the like zenye zinafanya at least tuna feel like tuko discouraged from doing what we have to do. I have gone to school to study, maybe that's what I feel that I can do in life. One, obviously Kenya without papers huwezi manage.
Yeah.
So I need means to get papers. Hiyo means ya kupata papers mnaita free education. But that free education isn't free. Tumeisema tu tumename free education, juu tunalipa fee mingi sana. Like kuna watu wengi wanasafa hapa nje. Unapata kumrudi mwenye background yake haijamanage kumlipia fee. So they'll have to do something little kupata. Hiyo little ni yenye tumetax hivyo sana yenye hatapata enough for kujisustain na kulipa fee. So at least this a cry out to the government through the movement. At least vitu zingine zenye zinaweza fanyika kama help loans ziache kukuwa na protocols mingi.
Yeah.
Before I think some years before help ikonga na protocols yenye iko na sahi na scholarships ziko na protocols. Unasikia kuna wale watu needy, most needy, sijui nini. And at the end of the day, hiyo ina limit mtu mwenye ako in need of hiyo loan hataipata. So at least tunafaa tuwe na moves zenye zinasaidia sisi kama mayouth kumanage. That's why we are talking about youth activism today.
And you know this has actually posed a great danger to this youth generation kwa sababu utapata someone is losing hope in life, anaacha shule and ana end up ku participate in crimes, participate in drug abuse, participate in exploitation. So this has posed great danger kwa sababu generation ya kesho ina deteriorate kwa sababu these youths are the ones we expect to be leaders of tomorrow, si ndio?
Yeah.
So you know the government should also consider these youths kwa sababu utapata in Kenya serikali ina major efforts zao kwa vitu zingine zenye ziko necessary kama kama nini hizo issues. Na what was this?
Actually government has majored on infrastructure sana.
Exactly. Unapata sasa the youths wameshushwa chini, rights zao zimeshushwa chini. Unapata mtu haezi fight for his or her rights kwa sababu ako illiterate. Ana ile chance yenye alipata akiwa shule akanyimwa the help loan or the scholarship, inamfanya ana rudi nyuma kimaisha and etc. Ndio.
Exactly. Yeah. So talking about your point, tunafaa tuone hiyo representation ya youth kwa gaba. Exactly. I think there are seats made specifically for youths. Zinafazikwe, but hizi nafazikwe zinasaidia ma youth. Wako hapo kutusaidia sisi. You can't just go to speak sisi wote. Mpaka tulichagua wale representatives wenye they speak on our behalf. So if possible pia how na wao they should in a way try to help us, maybe kama ma youth ku reach out to the government, they are closer to them than we are. Like that.
But again, on the movement, I support the youth again. But we need some guidance in such a way that we're not trying to overdoing something, because you get into the protest and whatever, they were being overdo in some way through distractions thing. That was not much necessary to do the whole thing.
I think it was.
It was not necessary because
there was a loss of lives.
Exactly, it was not necessary. There's that need of guidance, because at the youth age you feel like everything is right. You feel like if today I go smoke, I'm okay with it. But we need a kind of a guidance of how to do some things in some way
and how to cope up with those challenges.
That doesn't exactly mean you have to keep quiet when you're being molested. Sorry, they stood to speak for themselves. Na kama uli note, 90% it was peaceful. Actually vurugu mingi with this Gen Z maandamano zilitoka from the police, which is a great thing.
I don't know if you saw the meeting with the president during when there was discussion about the health disbursement thing, the new health disbursement. It was a polite meeting where everybody is being given a chance, like the president is being given a chance to explain this and this. Then you as the youth, you are being given a chance to ask questions. A very polite thing, a very good one. The one with Twitter, it was a good one because you are conversing with no disagreements of, yes, there is disagreement, but the way to solve it out, it's not about conflict.
Exactly. You can get your point. Naweza get point yako, but at the same time, unajua we are not all the same. obviously kutakuwa na wale wenye hawezi pasa kuonyesha, but 90% chances are that wengi wenye walikuwa na communicate through there, they were trying to talk about their rights. So hautazuia mtu ku express the way they feel just because you're doing something that is free and fair. Just let them speak, let it go, at least inaweza saidia. Maybe hata hao wenye waliongea tafli ndo wenye wali push into hiyo motive kukuwa successful.
You know the problem, Prince, is this. I know the protest went for about 2 weeks, and then the budget was taken back to be reviewed, isn't it?
Exactly.
But the meeting with about the new health disbursement only took 1 day, and it was the president agreed to that the health disbursement should go and be reviewed. So it saves time. Politely, there is no loss of lives, and that's it. And the deal is done at the end of the day.
Hatukatai, but unajua kwa nini? Do you know what pushed the president to accept that listening to through your stuff here Twitter? Yet he had seen what Gen Zs are capable of doing. Exactly. So I think what they did pulled him to kuitana na hiyo stuff. So at the end of the day, something must have to be done, by the way. But tulikuwa, by the way, maandamano ilikuwa peaceful. Maandamano was very peaceful. And talking about maandamano, there was introduction of adi gun points. We come peacefully, wanakuja na mpaka bunduki. For real. Okay, I'm not trying to insinuate anything, but think of it this way. Just trying to talk about your rights in a peaceful way. At first, there was no interruption of anything. Like they were just peaceful, trying to reject the bill. Them as Kenyans have the right to speak out their opinions, of course. So the introduction of bunduki and the armed force in between, it wasn't that big.
It was,
exactly. So tuliangushiwa mavijana wengi, by the way. That's gone, that's the past. We hope that it won't happen again. So the point ni eti ndo hiyo Twitter call ilifanywa through the president and the youth was made able because of what the youth have done. So you can be so sure something has to be done.
And it's okay. Yeah, I was speaking for the country. This has to be done. This has to be done. But for how long is it lasting?
That's why
we had the girl who was confronting the governor somewhere. Raina, don't know where she went. Only that day she was seen all over. She was trending, and that's it.
People have got things to do. Utashinda, you won't keep on rotating around one thing.
But we need the change.
And the change.
That's where the relevance of the youth activism comes.
Exactly.
The point number one ni kama amplifying voices. So you need to understand that in as much as one youth is striving to fight for his or her rights, he must be supported. Without this support, the rights cannot be met. The demands cannot be met. People are going to lose lives because of lack of support. You need to understand that if I support this person, I would scare someone has lost a life because of he was like an activist of something. So you also have generational perspectives. You know, through youth activism, tunakuwa na shaped policies. The government understands that if I decide to impose this taxation on this generation, there will be some implications. So through youth activism, kuna shaping policies.
Yeah.
Talking about shaping policies, we may talk about hiyo stuff tuko naongelea ya education. Unaweza educate, but then you need to educate our youth on how to address their opinions and issues.
Yes, not to put violence.
I'm against some of those who are abusive. By the way, kuna nilikonga abusive bibaya sana. That was in the part. By the way, hiyo ikonga necessary.
Even going to the parliament,
exactly,
it was not
necessary.
Carrying the maize. Now where are you taking the maize, surely?
But remember, through that, the government respected their decision. Finance bill wasn't passed.
So do you guys
it's okay.
mean?
We don't suggest for right. But life was life that was lost brought back to life. That's my part of like more empathy. Because there's somebody's daughter, somebody's son that
mostly were the
lost
students.
their life. Exactly.
So do we mean that we'll always have to lose lives not to keep it?
So as to get the change?
No, I don't mean that. But the thing is that through this pushing, the government got to go down. They did not pass the finance bill. Exactly. So I don't. I think the cause of the deaths was because of the violence of the police. So we need to understand that in as much as they are protesting peacefully, the police on the other hand will not come peacefully.
Yeah.
Because they cannot disrupt activities here and there only because of they are rioting for peace or I don't know what.
That's why we need education to know how we should be passing our opinions peacefully.
So in that upper education, we also have the challenges that these youths are facing in this urge of trying to fight for their rights.
And
So
that's
the challenge number one comes in support. They lack support. You'll get most of that time when Gen Zs were fighting, parents were saying like, why should they fight? Instead of supporting them as their children, because they know if this finance bill is going to be passed, you're all going to be affected. So with support, everything is going to be sorted. Another challenge is lack of finances.
That's a major challenge.
That's a major, exactly.
Tutakosanga to finances, by the way. The more you try to raise the finances, the more the finances raise you.
Yeah, everything has changed in the government. That's why we said we have politicians and not leaders actually.
Yeah.
So we need to understand that in as much as we are choosing our leaders, we need to understand that we are choosing politicians at the same time. We don't have leaders in Kenya. It's not a bad comment. It's just an issue that I'm raising. We only have politicians. Most of them are a good number are politicians. Others are maybe are good leaders. So we need to understand that the youth is tomorrow's next generation, and we are all expecting that we should not lose lives in the name of fighting for our rights. Tunafaa kuelewa that without the youth, tomorrow is not going to be anything. And to expect wazendo wakuwa kirule today, tomorrow. So we are only depending and measuring our hope on these youths to know that they are the only leaders of tomorrow.
Exactly. So talking about youths being the tomorrow leaders, in that point, I think tuna need platform yenye sisi kama ma youth tunaweza reserve our own leaders. Kuna ranks zenye ziko assigned for youth in the government. I don't see them work.
Yeah.
We have people fixed there, people appointed to be there. I think they should not be appointed.
And the most painful part is that utapata the same person is the one going to that position. Hakutakuwa na some other person to fit to that position. So these same people unapata leader alikuwa last time, this leader was this time, huyu akakuwa this time, repeating themselves. So you need to understand that in as much as kuna positions, give a different position to different people.
Yeah.
And majorly on the youths.
Like Bede kwa gava, ule msemi yangu kwa gava, you'll find them there above 28, 29. It's very rare upate msemi yangu kwa gava. So for us to raise tomorrow leaders, inafaa ianze now.
Yeah.
Ile platform kidogo mtu anaweza pata, unaweza tumia hiyo platform ku practice to be a tomorrow's leader. Okay, you may learn through wenye wako sahi. Unaangalia zile vitu zenye zinaendelea ndio like if I can be a leader, XYZ cannot happen.
Yeah.
So tusingoje mpaka yote utapata platform. I think that's what is affecting us. There's a regime in Kenya that every time we become someone mpaka ukue a bit corrupt in a way, ama mpaka ukue involved with scandals to fulani. Si mtu anaweza tuka to claim. But then mtu anaweza ka claim.
Let's hope for that future.
Exactly.
We are the ones to change that.
So the essence of today's topic was to understand that we need to create awareness to this youth, to understand that we need to educate our youth to fight for their rights. And it was nice having you. Thank you. Follow for more.